Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, a quick fortnight break means that Apex this GT4 Tuesdays is back in action here on Race and Nexus for season number 27. Hello everybody, and up here in the broadcast booth, it's Alex Goldschmidt, joined by Mac Nelson on commentary here for the opening round out of 12 weeks, which is going to see a bit of a shift in the dynamics of this championship. Of course, we have 12 weeks in earnest. It's going to be the pros and the mid-pack Larrys once again here at the iconic Mie Prefecture-based circuit known as the SUZUKA International Racing Course, first established back in September of 1962. It measures just over 3.6 miles, 5.8 kilometres, and has a total of 18 corners. And we've reset the ledger for season 27, courtesy of a bit of a poll heading to the end of it. We have got locked-in cars, open setup, but still the tried and tested 45-minute race format is very much in prominence here. Mac, good evening, buddy. Good to be alongside with you for the opening round of this series, because we are going to have a 45-minute race. All the drivers will be at 47% max on their gas tanks, and it's week 1 out of 12. And what a place to start off the proceedings for season 27 of Apex this GT4.
Yeah, Alex, SUZUKA, one of my favorite tracks here on the iRacing official service and in real life when it comes to racing as well. One of my dream countries to visit is actually Japan, and SUZUKA being in Japan be very fantastic to go watch a race there. I'm not exactly sure on prices or anything, but I'm sure it'll be one heck of a show regardless of the price tag.
Yes, indeed. One of my bucket list countries as well. Of course, this will host the Formula One Japanese Grand Prix in a matter of weeks amidst the dramas that have hit the 2026 Formula One seasonal calendar. But we are getting set and ready for our first 45-minute race. So there's a big thing with regards to it, but we're going to take you through the starting lineup. It's going to be DJ Alessandrini and the man from St. Kitts and Nevis, Kevin Zhu, alongside each other on the front row. Michael Brock, last season's runner-up in the Pro Division. He'll be joined by the defending champion, Brian Lemke, on row 2. Kyle Mavis now moves up to the Going Pros, having become the Mid-Pack Larry's champion for season 26. He'll have Jesse Meir alongside him on rows 3. Roman Bykov and Brian Zinn will be on row 4, with Thomas Lathrop and Russell Abraham rounding out your top 10. Then we go and turn the page. Zach Peterson and Michael Chase will be on row 6. Joe Mayer and John Cooper, row 7. Oz Eskelou and John Agudello rounds out row 8. Keenan Gehrig and Justin Aitchison round out row 9, and completing your top 20, Aaron Sunday and Kent Kruger. We've got 32 cars set to hit the grid here at SUZUKA for the opening week out of 12. Sean Teeter and Vincent Wood on row 11. Felipe Cox and John Monsalve, row 12. Paul Bailey, Austin Diltz, row 13. Kelly Greenhow and Mike Bond, row 14. And rounding out your top 30, Spencer Boudoir and Justin Back. And rounding out your 32 strong grid will be Dylan Foster and Craig Thompson. Well, a big grid. We were having averages of around about 25 cars per race for season 26. And as you can see on the timing tower on the left-hand side of your screens, folks, the red numbers indicate the going pros. The blues will indicate the mid-pack Larrys. And could we have, after 12 weeks, when we head to Spa next week, Watkins Glen, Okayama, Daytona, Donington National, Nürburgring Grand Prix, St. Petersburg, Zandvoort, Sebring, Interlagos and Road Atlanta will be the final round of the series on June 2nd. But again, this is a track that has a lot of fast overtaking opportunities, a lot of technicality, and it is the only FIA Grade 1 listed track that is in a figure of 8 configuration. The only other track that was a FIA Grade 1 was the Fiorano test track for Scuderia Ferrari. But look at this cavalcade of colour here, Mac, because we've got a lot of cars ready to go racing. They've got to stick with those wagons, otherwise they lose all the points that they've gained until that time when they change cars.
Yeah, and I mean, look at DJ Alessandrini here, representing a podcast on his car. I haven't seen that before, and you know, they say the world of advertisement and marketing is getting a whole lot, stronger with their, messages, a lot more places you can find it. And I mean, look at that, man. We see a podcast on the side of the car. That's really cool to see.
Indeed. Well, we're set and ready for 45 minutes of racing here at the Suzuka International Racing Course, season 27. Apex this, GT4 Tuesdays, about to roar into life here in the Mie Prefecture of Japan. And it is going to be the case that Alessandrini and Zhu will bring us to green here for 45 minutes as we go green here at Suzuka. And a great run by Alessandrini. Keep your eyes on the Mustang and Michael Brock and Brian Lepke, sticking with the tried and tested wagon that brought into the series title in season 26 as we go into first corner. And this is when we get into the what they call the Asura S curves, and then Gyaku Bank coming up very shortly, known as the Snake Complex to a lot of people. But a lot of close quarter battling. We have had a few bombers at the back of the field with the likes of Austin Dilts, Vincent Wood, Felipe Cox, Justin Back, Dylan Foster. So, yeah, and there we go. Jen Brock, Michael Brock's wife, always in chat. Good to hear from you, Jen. Hope you and the rest of the family are doing all okay. We are trying to get things back up and running, so bear with us. We are having some slight technical issues at the moment as things stand, but we should very shortly be going back trackside. So we are 1 minute in, and well, at the meantime, DJ Alessandrini in the 333. Now, people might remember what he did at the beginning of season 26. He arrived for race 1 and race 3, and then decided to Scarpa. And then I found him on another Porsche, a Porsche Owners Club broadcast for the Global Sim Racing channel, who I also work with. And he just came in and scarpered away with the rest, with the field. But still, at the end of the day, we have got the Nürburgring King himself, the man from St. Kitts and Nevis, Kevin Zhu in second position, Michael Brock leading the Mustang family in third position as they go down the backstretch and head into the famed 130R on the run to the Casio Triangle. If anyone might remember the move that Fernando Alonso did on Michael Schumacher back in 2006, going round the outside of this very, very famous high-speed corner. But still, Alessandrini keeping things copacetic at the front end of the field as they head their way through what was called the Casio Triangle, now is called the Hitachi Estemo Chicane. So once again, it is that case that we have had a few drivers that have fallen a little bit by the wayside. And that does include John Aguiledo, Austin Dilts, Vincent Wood, number 77, who rounds out the top 12. But the gaps are, in some respects, starting to open up as we are 3 1/4 minutes into this race. Very long laps round here at Suzuka. DJ Alessandrini running in the in the high 2 minutes 11.4s. So Alessandrini pulling away, and he's got a gap of 1.2 seconds over Kevin Zhu. Michael Brock a further 1.1 seconds behind, and it's ding seconds out for season 27 between Brock and Lemke Lemke running in the number 41 Skylounge Motorsport BMW M4 GT4, and you can see how capable the BMW is in the corners as they will come out of Spoon Curve and then make their way down the dip into the backstretch. And then you can see underneath the Panasonic and Dunlop Diretsa signage here at Suzuka. And look at the move that could come here from Brian Lemke. He was right in the slipstream of Michael Brock going through into 130R and now into the Hitachi Estemo chicane. The number 41, the defending Going Pros champion, unable to make his way through, and that's putting him into the path of Kyle Mavis, who I'm wondering if he is still running with that Liquid Death livery on that Ford Mustang, which he looks to be still doing. Vincent Wood has gone an off track for exceeding track limits, and Kyle Mavis, the man from Atlanta, Georgia, has still got that Liquid Death livery on there. That's quite a eye-catching livery on the number 64. So we've seen that man punch well above his weight, so to speak, in the overall side of things. So for him to run P5 here, Mac, for me, is not a complete surprise at all.
Yeah, Kyle Mavis, he's someone who I normally see in that, in the back of the top of the grid, those top packs. They always have those guys that are just on the outside of it. Kyle Mavis, one of those guys, he's soaking in a lot of knowledge following these fast drivers, and we have a little bit of a technical difficulty again. I apologize, being throttled by the internet gods. Not exactly what I'm looking for here on a broadcast, but hopefully we're still not taken away from the beautiful racing that these drivers of the Apex This GT4 Tuesday series are bringing us, Alex.
Yeah, and Rachel from OND Racing giving a shout out to Aaron Sunday in the 331, who's moved up a couple of spots up into 21st position, make that 20th now, as John Monsalve has had a big old drama in his car, in the number 505 McLaren 570S. Is now running P22 as they go up in towards some of the very, very tight technical sections here at Suzuka. There's Monsalve and that very, very highlighty yellow coloured McLaren 570, and he nearly tries to go up the inside of Kelly Greenhoe in the 012 Mercedes-Benz AMG GT4, who's now pulling alongside. And that is going to be on Aaron Sunday in the pretty in pink, very much in the vein of the BWT liveries that we see in the DTM. So Greenhoe gets through just before 130R, uses the slipstream down the backstretch, manages to run it a little bit wide. That's a hell of a livery. You've got the cap with the shades on both door panels on the number 012, the man from Monterey, California, holding on to what is 20th position overall. Meantime, Kevin Jew is falling further and further behind DJ Alessandrini, but you can see there that Michael Brock and Brian Lemke, they are indirectly working together to catch up to the man from St. Kitts and Nevis, the 243. That Nürburgring King, it's a bit of a take on a fast food chain, folks, let's just say. And if you recognise the colours, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's not the Burger King, he's the Nürburgring King.
And man, I wish it said Burger King, Alex, because I'll be honest, I had a Whopper the other day. It was quite legendary. So maybe a little bit of a return of the 2000s for Burger King, and in saying so, will the high form of Burger King as a fast food chain be a direct comparison to maybe the high form of racing we might see from the 243 of Kevin Jew?
Yeah, the man from St. Kitts and Nevis has had really good performances last season. But now that we've reset everything, and one of the big things, the biggest changes, that there was a poll conducted as Russell Abraham has just had a meatball flag, so he's towed that into the pit lane. That's a bit of a drama there for the number 46 sister car of the Sky Lounge Motorsport team. You're starting to make me hungry now, Mac. I'm really, really jealous that you said about a Whopper. I might have to go for a bacon double cheese XL at the moment. But yeah, that's a good one as well. You know, you've got to make sure you've got to have the right fries with it. Definitely got to make sure you have the right fries with it. But Kevin Jew is starting to pull away from Michael Brock. The gap is now extended, and it's gone up to 1.3 seconds. So with it being now fixed car, one car for the entirety of the season, and we've gone to open setup. It was fixed setup for season 26, so now the drivers are going to have to tailor the cars to their driving style, but also to the circuit. Now, the thing is that for anyone that wants to get involved with Apex this, you can head down to the description in below and join the league. And they've got so many great people within this league. They run 3 times a week. We also broadcast their Mazda MX-5 Sundays, and it's great to see this league continue to flourish. We've got a lot of new names here in season 27 for the Apex this GT4 Tuesdays, as you can see by the spelling in the top of the timing tower there, folks. But DJ Alessandrini has gotten away. He's a bit like a rat up a drain pipe at the moment. He's 4.5 seconds up the way, and we're nearly 4.5 laps in. But again, the battle that we saw in season 26 between the two on your screen at the moment, Michael Brock in P3 in the Technicolor Dreamcoat Mustang, and then the all-stealth black Brian Lemke edition of the Sky Lounge Motorsport number 41 BMW. You can see as they go underneath the bridge after Degner's 1 and 2. And then it's going to be a short blast up to the hairpin. They've got Kyle Mavis, Jesse Mia, Brian Zinn is also closing in. So we are starting to get a little bit of a GT4 conga line starting here, Mac.
Yes, sir, we are. And as a way of combating these technical difficulties, we're going to step away to a commercial break for just 1 second. When we come back, you will still have coverage of the Apex GT4 Tuesday series right here on Racer Nexus. Just cut it.
Okay, folks, welcome back to continuing coverage as we've got 33.25 minutes left to go for Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. Alex Goldschmidt and Mac Nelson in the broadcast booth alongside producer Rob Campbell, who's going to be controlling things behind the scenes. But again, the first 12 minutes here, Mac, have really gotten off to a bit of a bang here for Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. When you consider the fact that we've brought a new bit of a dynamic and everyone seems to be equally matched at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. And DJ Alessandrini, man, he has been cooking in that 333 Porsche. I mean, he's got the lead out to 5.9 seconds, and that's growing as I say it. So, yeah, DJ Alessandrini, he's got to be the MVP of the race. We're only a few minutes in. We're not even halfway through, but, I mean, he has looked almost invincible, some would say.
Yes, indeed. So thank you very much for everyone bearing with us with the technical difficulties that we've been having. But Michael Brock did have a little bit of a moment coming out of Spoon Curve, and the man in the 421 has dropped down into 7th position. So again, it just goes to show that one wrong move here at Suzuka and it can put you quickly on the back foot. So Kyle Mavis in the meantime has got a slowdown penalty. He's got to serve for track limits infringement. So this is going to be very, very close indeed, but Alessandrini is running away with this. And there you see the freight train coming along out of the final corner. Across the line they go. Lemke up into P3 now. Mavis, Migas in, Brock, Boykov. As Jesse Mia gets through Kyle Mavis, who serves that slowdown, well, who hasn't served that slowdown penalty, that could very quickly end up being a black flag, but he does serve it. So Jesse Mir in the 172 Porsche gets through for 4th position. And this just goes to show how quickly things can change on a dime.
Yeah, things are changing very, very quickly. And for the mid-pack Larrys, we have a little bit, not to contradict what we've been saying, but they've had a little bit of a solid, you know, firm, normal run here. We've got Zach Peterson, who, if I'm not mistaken, has led the entire race for that mid-pack Larry's class. Justin Atchison, very, very good here in the 175 Mustang. There was a lot of talk on if the Mustang was going to be used in this 2026 iRacing season after the, you know, very good year the Mustang GT3 had. I mean, in 2025 had to be the best car on the service. GT4 not getting as much love, but people were starting to come around on it. But it seems like the hype behind that Ford, with it being fixed car all series, looks like we're just not going to see any Mustangs here this season, in season number 27, Alex.
Yeah, well, we have got a total of 4 on the grid, but some people will look at the longer game, and some will find that when we get to some of the tracks, when we get to Spa, you're going to see cars like the Mustang really come into their own with that naturally aspirated engine underneath the hood of the vehicle, really providing some great torque and traction to the rear end. Meantime, John Cooper being chased down by mid-pack Larry's leader, Zach Peterson, who's running in the old Pink Pig livery, and they are getting very, very close down the back stretch in towards 130R. Just behind them is Joe Mayer in the 000 BMW M4. So again, you can just see how quickly Zach Peterson's going to go for the move into the triangle, and he gets the job done. That's a great move there by the 116, but John Cooper's going to try and come back at him out of the exit of the chicane. And they've got to be very, very mindful here. You see, there's a lot of drivers that have changed cars. Roman Bykov actually stuck with the Aston Martin all the way through season 26, and he stayed with this. So thank you so much for everyone bearing with us, but whoever you're cheering on for, let us know in the YouTube channel, and we will make sure you guys and girls out there get a shout out. But again, we now see the strength of the BMW in the corners. And it's a great all-rounder, is the BMW M4. It's another car that we are seeing not so many of in this series, because everyone was given pretty much carte blanche last season to change cars whenever they fancied it. And I think the thing is when you look at drivers such as Brian Lemke and also Michael Brock, Roman Bykov, they stuck with their respective cars that they're back in for season 27 that they ran for majority in season 26, and that shows that there is confidence that they have built over 12 weeks of campaigning during season 1 of 2026. There's been a lot of updates for season 2 2026, and of course one of the new tracks that has joined the iRacing service, St. Petersburg, is going to be hosting our 8th round. So the good thing is we're going to be racing on the streets of St. Pete here in season 27, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how the drivers get on. It was very much has the same kind of allure like the Long Beach Grand Prix circuit in California, but here in Japan things are definitely feeling rather racy at the moment. Brian's in trying to close in on Kyle Mavis as we ride on board on the rear bumper cam of the number 64 Liquid Death Ford Mustang. And this just goes to show that the Mustang has got the legs on the 718 Cayman going through into 130R. 27 minutes and 40 to go. And it is going to be interesting to see with the 47% fuel tank limit that these drivers will have. There's a lot of braking and acceleration zones here, Mac, when it comes to Suzuka. And when we go to Spa, it's going to be full throttle, and at 70% at least full throttle round that that nearly 7 kilometer circuit in a week's time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very good to see the drivers go to Spa. I think it's going to be very indicative of how good they are, because Suzuka, you're right, you have a lot of technicalities, you've got a lot of corners, a lot of low speed stuff that you see going on here, especially mid-speed as well. Spa, like you said, it's on the limit every single corner. It's very high speed, and a lot of these drivers, if they have a good performance here at Suzuka and then go over to Spa, they might not be having the same results they do here at Suzuka. So I expect Week 3 of this series, I think, is going to be very, very close when it comes to championship standings in both the Going Pros and the Mid-Pack Larrys. And I just think that the variety as a whole, and I was going to say this when you touched up on St. Pete earlier, the schedule for this season has been mind-boggling when I look at it. I'm in love with the fact that they're going to St. Pete, like you said, in Week 8. And I could hear the grin, Alex, ear to ear when you said St. Pete. You're very excited, and I am too. I actually plan on hopping in the simulator as soon as we're done here in the IndyCar, running some laps at St. Pete. So I think just overall, if you're a viewer of this series, if you like Apex this, it's going to be one heck of a show from Week 1 to Week 12.
Yes, indeed. Now, also, the thing is that the drivers do have, along with a 47% fuel limitation on the fuel tank, what they will have is they have one fast repair at their disposal. There are also bonus points for drivers as well, because at the end of the season there will be a 7-point bonus to the racer with the fewest overall incident points in their division, and they have to have completed at least more than six completed races where they've scored points, and drop races will not count towards the total. So it will be as we had last time. Mitchell Chase has just ended up in the pit, so and that was a bit wide, I think, by one of the Mercedeses that just came through 130R. So Mitchell Chase in the 371 Porsche is the first one to pull the trigger. So Mike Bond out, Craig Thompson out, Austin Diltz out. But the thing is, with the technicality of the circuit, you've really got to watch your fuel mileage and also watch your track limit. So Mitchell Chase will give us a bit of an indicator as to how quickly he will refuel. 15.6 seconds on that one for Mitchell. Michael, and he will rejoin in 25th position, having pitted on lap 9, but Michael Brock is now trying to close in on Brian Zinn and Kyle Mavis. John Monsalve has just got the black flag, so that is going to be a trip through the pit lane for a drive-through penalty. So Michael Brock has got through. Roman Bykov is still rocking the Coors Light livery on that Aston Martin. The Union Jack on the top, they're going to go wheel to wheel in towards the hairpin. And Brock goes earlier on the brakes, Bykov to the outside, and at this point, Michael Brock lines it up nice and neatly, and Roman Bykov gets a bit sideways at that point, and yeah, Aaron Sunday has definitely got the Japanese cherry blossoms, very topical that we're here in Suzuka.
Yeah, very, very cool looking livery from him. You see Joseph Marr there in the 000, chasing down John Cooper in the 77. And you know, John Cooper, the first time I got to see him drive was at Virginia. We were doing that race together, actually, Alex, and it was very, very cool to see John Cooper being so defensive of his position. If I'm not mistaken, I think I brought it up to you during the race about how well he was holding his position. But here at Suzuka, it's been almost a completely different story. We saw Zach Peterson, who isn't even in the Going Pros division. I mean, the kids nowadays would call that getting low broed. But Zach Peterson just ran past John Cooper, you know, an all-elite defensive driver, and now he's being, you know, almost played with by the car behind him now, Joseph Marr. So will he lose another position? You know, it's hard to tell as we're getting close to the pit window.
Yeah, we're seeing a few more drivers coming to pit lane. Kyle Mavis, who started 5th. So does Roman Bykov. Sean Tita in the 117 BMW has just come into pit road. And I think that could be a bit of an Australian Supercars Cam Waters Monster Energy tribute livery there. There's Brian Zinn with the Popsicle livery. If anyone might remember, it is quite funny. But the thing is that the drivers have been given the being given a blank sheet of paper and say, right, okay, you can run whatever you want. And I have to say, Rachel, with regards to Aaron, saying he's celebrating Japan with the cherry blossoms, and they were both fortunate to be at Suzuka for the Formula 1 last year and got to see them in person. Pretty amazing. Yeah, of course. I mean, the jury's still out on the new for 2026 regulations, as we've already had 2 Grand Prix. We've had Melbourne and we've also had Shanghai in the last couple of weeks. But look at that, the 331. That is definitely one hell of a livery with the Japanese cherry blossoms on there. But Aaron Sunday trying to close in on Kent Kruger. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide. Oh dear, and Aaron's lost the back end with a bit of a tank slapper going through the second of the Degners as they're going underneath the bridge. This is such a technical chicane. You can see all the gravel being kicked up. There's a lot of drivers finding more than the limits. They've gone beyond them and then some, and that just goes to show how truly difficult this circuit can be.
Yeah, I agree. And Aaron Sunday there in the 331, it looked like he maybe had a little bit of followed the leader, the car in front of him having a little bit of an off at the second Degna, like you said, him doing the same thing. And if we look back up towards the front, Alex, DJ Alessandrini, 11.2 seconds ahead of his Porsche running mate, 2:43 of Kevin Zhu. These two drivers doing a very, very good job. And Brian Lemke in P3, it seems like he's in a sea of the unknown. He's surrounded by 4 Porsches trying to make the BMW the fastest manufacturer here tonight.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that now John Cooper in the 77 Skylounge Motorsport Porsche Cayman goes into pit lane. So he is he was the highest place. Pellegrino now dives into pit lane in 012. Loving the livery on this one with the cat with the shades on both door panels of the car, with a bit of a split personality livery there. With Vincent Wood now comes in the 93 McLaren, one of only 2 drivers that have selected the 570S GT4. I'm looking forward to seeing when the new Artura the Artura GT4 hits iRacing. There's Spencer Baudouin, loving that livery with the Apex this iRacing League signage on the hood, and also both door panels. Don't forget, if you folks want to get yourself a nice little 5% cheeky discount, as we've got a whole black flag for Dylan Foster in the 818. So Dylan, who's decided to go with the Porsche here for season 27, he made his debut at Mosport last season and has been continually just improving race after race. Don't forget, if you want to get a 5% discount for all of your items off of Apex Sim Racing Shop, they've got you know, from wheels to direct drive bases, you know, from like Sim Magic, Simucube. It's all absolutely awesome tech that you can get from them. Use the coupon code RacerNexus, 5% off all your purchases, and a big thank you for them once again for their support. About 19 minutes still to go here on the timer. Kyle Mavis now down in 18th position, and he's got the 371 Porsche of Michael Chase just in front. Dylan Foster will have to serve that drive-through penalty as DJ Alessandrini pits from the race lead on only lap 12 of this race. Now we're going to have to see if the floodgates open. Kevin Zhu dives in the Nürburgring King 243. Lemke comes in, Mia comes in, Brian Zinn is going to carry on. Brock comes in. Now the pit stops have been a bit of a nemesis for Michael Brock. Lathrop comes in, Peterson comes in. They're all coming in now. Mayer's now in pit road. Justin Aitchison, he comes in. And we could have a bit of a big old melee in the pit lane here at the moment, as we've got a little bit of side-by-side, but then that is Kent Kruger diving into pit lane as Aaron Sunday continues onward. DJ Alessandrini has rejoined 17 seconds behind Brian Zinn, but Zinn yet to do a pit stop. Felipe Cox in the number 666 Mercedes now moves up to P5. He's yet to take a pit stop, so Paul Bailey has just been given a black flag. Wondering what that might be for. Well, he hasn't pitted yet, but that might be going over the 12x incident limit, which means that you have to serve a drive-through penalty, which can be quite costly. And he's also rocking the Calls livery on the 569. Yeah, yes indeed, Jen Brock. Pit lane was a nightmare. As soon as DJ Alessandrini went in, the floodgates quite literally opened there, didn't they, Mac?
Yeah, and it seems like everyone kind of just following the strategy of Alessandrini, of a lot of those drivers that took that early stop. And, you know, for as big of a grid like this, I kind of expected to see a little bit more diversity when it comes to the strategy. I'm not sure, you know, obviously I cannot hear the radio comms between the drivers in the official session here, but it just seems like maybe they were all on the same page. Maybe they all had something going, because, I mean, you rarely see it in a, you know, a big car grid like this. Over the course of 45 minutes or even longer, you rarely see all the drivers really come in at the same time. So something that seems kind of minor when you look at it, but, you know, when you think about it, you really don't see that very often.
Yeah, there's Sean Teeter in the 117, the Beast. BMW M4 GT4, started 21st, now currently closing in. Got a replay here. Now this is going to be Michael Brock. Oh, this is out of the second Degner, and the car gets a big old wobble. And oh, it's coming out of the second Degner. He's lost it. Left rear hit the AstroTurf, and around went the 421. And that has put him further down the order. That's put him down to 15th position as Sean Teeter on the braking. The back end snaking from left to right as now Brian Zinn has pitted. That means that we have got him and Aaron Sunday, who have now gone into pit lane. Felipe Cox has also decided to dive into the pit, so DJ Alessandrini, new race leader, he has been running away with it, and he's actually a driver coach in real life. I had the opportunity to chat to DJ, and he is a very, very busy individual. Of course, the main racing season over in the USA has really kick-started with full reckless abandonment, and so drivers like DJ, they're quite hard to find, these really, really good driver coaches, but he's a man very much in demand. Zach Peterson still continues to lead the mid-pack Larrys in the 116 Porsche, and he is closing in on the 84 of Thomas Lathrop, and that is for 9th overall. They've got Kyle Mavis, the outgoing mid-pack Larry's champion from season 26, in 8th position, just up ahead in the Ford Mustang. And he is the highest placed Mustang after that drama for Michael Brock that we saw. But half an hour down, 15 to go. And the main thing is, there's still opportunities for drivers, but Brian Zinn has been not one of the biggest chargers. Spencer Baudouin down in 15th position, started 29th and is now up 14 spots, and he's running in the top 15. So good work by Spencer. That's really going to help him in terms of points, but more to the point that that car looks like it hasn't got a scratch on it.
Yeah, it looks very, very clean, and almost that optic green for any ball knowers out there. Optic Texas CDL team here in the other side of the esports atmosphere, but hey, it's a very, very good color, shines in the light, and if we're being honest, it could be my favorite car, that 010 of Spencer Baudouin, the Winnipeg driver. I've actually got some friends living up in Winnipeg, so a little bit of a connection there. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not, but hey, that Mercedes looks very, very good to me.
Here's a reference from Winnipeg, Manitoba. They are the hometowns of both multi-time wrestling champions Kenny Omega, who's a big gamer himself, and of course Chris Jericho. So there you go, there's a bit of professional wrestling thrown in there. I'm a bit of a big fan. I do watch quite a lot of WWE, AEW, NXT. I've been a big fan of it by a lot of it. But when you think about it, Stanimel 1477, honestly disappointed by the lack of dogs on the big dog racing car. Okay, Stan, you're going to have to give us the number on that one. But it just goes to show that this league has always had bumper-to-bumper racing, and we're so pleased. And a big thank you from us here at the team at Racer Nexus for Apex this to say, yeah, look, we've loved the coverage of the GT4s, and I'm glad to be here for the entirety of season 27. That's something I confirm to you folks right here and now, live on air. But 12 minutes and 50 to go. There are still some great battles going on. Brian Lemke has lost a bit of time to Brian Zinn. He's right under pressure because he's got Jesse Mia and Mitchell Chase, who's made up 6 spots so far in the 371 car. He might make it into the top 5 by checkered flag.
Yeah, Michael Chase doing a very, very good job. And, you know, to keep on the topic, he's kind of been one-winged angeling this grid right now, Alex. He's been absolutely nuking all the way up the grid. His car is on rails right now. We saw he had problems early on in the race, and I think he might have also had a premature pit stop. I think he was one of the guys who had a little bit of an issue coming out of the final turn and then went down into the pit lane. So he's in pretty peak form right now, Alex. He's doing a very good job here.
Yes, he is indeed, Mac, as they head down the backstretch into the famed fast left-hander here at 130. Are we right on board with Jesse Mia? Little dab of brakes by the 41 of Brian Lemke, man who was nicknamed Mr. Consistency by myself and Chris Murphy last season. as they go into the Hitachi Estemo chicane, formerly known as the Casio Triangle, the famed location where Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna came together during their warring days at McLaren for the World Championship. And on that particular weekend, it was a certain Ayrton Senna that got assist from the marshals. Prost retired from the race, and then Senna got promptly disqualified because of an outside assistance, in the words of Jean-Marie Balestre, who was the FIA president at that time. But this is a great battle. 3 drivers, 2 Porsches versus a BMW for 4th spot, as we've got 11 minutes to go. And big thank you to producer Rob, who's just put the live timing in the chat there for you, Rachel, so you can click on there and you can see what myself and Mac are seeing when it comes to sector types, sector splits, top speeds, everything you can think of. But what a race we've got here that has kick-started season 27 of Apex, this GT4 Tuesdays here on Race to Nexus in the greatest way possible, because we go from one iconic circuit to another one that's also on the Formula 1 calendar. Next week we go to week 2 at the iconic Spa-Francorchamps circuit, a circuit I've had the opportunity to go to for the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa back in 2023, and there was a dive to the inside of the hairpin by Michael Chase. He was trying to get through on Jesse Mia for 5th position, but the 371 could have been a little bit later on the brakes to do so, and that just goes to show how quickly things can be going your way and then you find out they're not. But again, Michael Chase is really hustling that 371 Porsche, as Thomas Lathrop closing in on Kyle Mavis as they're going to head through Spoon Curve. Mavis runs a little bit deep, and that nearly opens the door for Lathrop, who has got Mid-Pack Larry's leader, Zach Peterson, in the Pig Porsche right with them. And it's 3 line astern as they go up the backstretch underneath the Panasonic and Dunlop bannering. And here we go into 130 yard. Lathrop's got the slipstream from Kyle Davis. Will he dive to the inside here at 130 yard? The answer is no.
Yeah, not going to be able to get that move done right there, Alex. But something very, very interesting to see. Zach Peterson, he is not challenged here in the Mid-Pack Leary's division here. He's got Justin Atchison in the 175 Ford Mustang. He sits 4 cars back because Zach Peterson has just passed Kyle Mavis. But heavy is the crown for the leader of the Mid-Pack Larry's right now, Zach Peterson. Dare I say it, he's getting bored almost.
Well, we're going to see the replay here. Kyle Mavis was serving the slowdown penalty, so Lathrop ran the outside. And then Peterson, takes no hesitation on that one, gets through, and then Mavis back up to full racing speed across the start-finish stretch as Justin Aitchison, who we saw switching between Aston Martin and Mustang machinery last season, has stuck with Dearborn's finest. But still 8.5 minutes to go, and DJ Alessandrini, we haven't seen much of him on the live stream, mainly because of the fact the man himself is 17.5 seconds up the road. And there he is, doing a great job in the 333. He came in at weeks 1 and 3 of season 26, blitzed the field, and yeah, the Lizard Brains podcast, I might have to tune in and check that one out maybe at some point in the not too distant future. But still, the good thing is Russell Abraham has just dived into pits again. That's another drama for the number 46 Sky Lounge Motorsport BMW M4. But still, with 8 minutes to go, this is Alessandrini's race to lose. If he has one big moment, that could be it and game over, because Kevin Zhu is his nearest rival, 17.7 seconds behind. But Brian Zinn has always been pretty much at the sharp end of the field. He's also one of our colleagues here at Race to Nexus when he decides to dive behind the microphone. But he's still a very, very hard charger in his own right. Swapped between machinery and found that the Mercedes-AMG GT4 last season was kind of his talisman vehicle. Lemke still holding strong in 4th position, and Mia and Chase, they are covered by about 0.4 of a second. So the 2 Porsche 718 Caymans battling right to the death here in this race. Roman Bykov and the 013 Aston Martin. He's still holding station. He's in the position exactly where he qualified. But Brian Zinn started on the outside of row number 4. Started P8 and now is up 5 spots. Vincent Wood closing in on Aaron Sunday, and this is for 19th position. And Oh no, and Aaron's just lost it. Oh, he lost it coming out of 130R. The back end stepped out to the right, and then it sashayed to the left, and he just about caught it.
Yeah, big train of AMGs there as we take a look here again. Aaron Sunday, yeah, the right tire just going to dip off, and I mean just a tad, maybe a few inches off of that racing surface, Alex, and that is all it takes when you're on the edge at a high-speed corner like 130R.
Yeah, John Aguilado's just got a mechanical black flag, and the number 48 who's just pulled it into pits. Chen Brock saying DJ Alessandrini should pull a Joshua Soto every race and start in last. Well, who knows? Who knows? We might have to suggest that to him maybe, but he might be up for the challenge. Meantime, Zach Peterson challenging Thomas Lathrop, who nearly had a moment there through Degner 2. Jesse Mia, in the meantime, is swapping positions. It's like musical chairs for 5th and 6th at the minute, as they are making their way down towards what will be Spoon Curve. And Jesse Mia is holding on to that 5th spot. Chase is a little bit later on the brakes. He's using the 172 as a yardstick as we've got 5.5 minutes to go. Wonderful aerial shot of seeing how technical Spoon Curve actually is. It's sort of like a double left-hander as they go up the hill through the backstretch. Baikov not that far behind. He seems to be closing in. The gap between him and Chase is about a second through 130R. It's about how much gumption you've got. As Zach Peterson nearly went to the outside of Thomas Lathrop down the backstretch heading into 130R. He could have possibly tried the Fernando Alonso, Michael Schumacher-esque move, which happened back in 2006 in the Formula One World Championship that season, where Alonso went on to win his 2nd world title. And since then, well, the man has been one of the mainstays in Formula One, one of the seasoned veterans, as we've got Justin Aitchison battling with John Cooper. And this is for P13 overall, but Justin Aitchison in the 175 Ford Mustang, running with the wonderful Gulf liveried colours on that car. He's running P2. Sean Teeter running out your top 3 in the mid-pack. Larry's down in 18th position in the 117 Monster Energy Beast BMW M4. He's up 3 spots from the from when we started just over 41 minutes ago when we went to green. So still, John Aguilera has got a mechanical black flag. That is possibly for a pit lane infringement if he's been caught speeding or crossed the exit line out of pit lane. John Aguilera making his way down the backstretch underneath the Dunlop banner, and he is currently running in 25th position. As oh no, Thomas Lathrop, that is not where he wanted to lose it. That is through the Degner section, and Zach Peterson just got a had both barn doors open right in front of him, and he said, "Thank you, Thomas, I'll take that every single day of the week." And we're going to see the replay here. Now he's going to turn it in, and the back end is going to step out. I don't know if there was a little bit of a possible, maybe a bit of net code involved, but Zach Peterson was so close by inadvertently nigh on being T-boned by the rear end of Thomas Lathrop, who I have to say he held it very, very well, locked up those brakes. We're going to have a look and see on board with Zach. So they're going to go in. No, he lost it all on his own. So Zach Peterson did not assist Thomas Lathrop. We're just going to be seeing by the slow-mo replay how close this was. So there's Lathrop and Peterson by a fraction. It was probably about half a door length that he just missed out, and Kyle Mavis makes sure that he goes through on the inside, and well held by Thomas Lathrop on that particular occasion. But that was definitely a code brown clean up on aisle 3, and someone had to get the mop out afterwards.
Yeah, and a big move by the Mustang. Now that was netcode, Alex. You could see the weird hitch in Michael Brock's Mustang in the rear right side of that car. That's going to be big netcode heading into the penultimate corner here at Suzuka.
Yeah, Michael goes to the outside, and I think
that might have been real contact, actually.
It looked like it was. I think Michael might have just slightly misjudged it, and I'm sure that the air is blue in his sim ring at the moment after trying to pull that move off. But it just goes to show, as I said, when we went fixed car, when we went open setup, it was going to be a case of this is the first race, and it's a very, very technical circuit for everyone to get their teeth into, to get used to the cars and then they'll find that for every single circuit, this is going to be a consistent learning experience for every single driver, and they've got to play the card to the strengths of their driving style. Perfect, Jen. Mario shortcut or what? I was waiting for Michael to hit the button for the invincibility star there. There we go. So, yeah, I think it was just a little bit of a slight touch to the right rear fender of Michael on that one, but I think Michael might have just carried a little bit too momentum into there from how I saw it. I mean, the thing is, us commentators, we can sort of, by the footage that we see, understand it, but sometimes we can't always see the full picture. But we're down to the final minute. We're going to go on to the white flag lap here with DJ Alessandrini, and he is 20.2 oh, hang on a second. Brian Zinn is now through on Kevin Zhu. White flag has just been waved, so big developments as Brian Zinn now ahead of Kevin Zhu, who I think might have just had a big old moment. We're going to see what's happened here with, well, this is Russell. Yeah, so that's Russell Abraham, but so here we go, Brian Zinn. This is through 130R. Oh dear, Kevin Zhu. Well, he was definitely the king of drifting there, and he's lost the rear wing on the 243. Oh my goodness, that is not what you want to have happen on your GT4 car, and he loses it again. Poor. I just hate it when that kind of thing happens. But when you're trying to go through that circuit, and look, on the grass, bang, there it is. Rear end lets go, tank slaps, and then bang, left rear fender hits the wall, removes the rear wing, and that means that well, where has Kevin Zhu ended up? In pit lane, which has promoted Brian's into second. Brian Lemke, who's now got Mitchell Chase going after him. We are on the last lap of this race, and look, Lemke's leading the conga line here. He's got Chase, Mia, Bykov right with him as they go through into the first of the two Degners here on the 21st and final lap. Lemke's got to hold on. He's got to get those elbows out and knives sharpened for sure, as they're going to head into the hairpin for the final time. And look at how close Chase was on the brakes. So was Mia, so was Bykov. But Lemke's able to get the traction down earlier.
Yeah, very, very interesting to see. And on behalf of Kevin Zhu, it's very unfortunate that he goes 43 minutes with an almost perfect race. And the only thing that's going to reflect is the 10 seconds of imperfection that he had there around 130R. But we are on the final lap here. Michael Chase in the 371 doing a very good job. I think he's kind of got that set. Yeah, but it is going to be round one that goes the way of DJ Alessandrini, like we saw at season 26. He wins here at Suzuka after 45 minutes, but Brian Zinn, who started from the outside of row 4 in 8th position, makes his way through the Hitachi Estemo chicane for the final time. The 82 will come out of the final corner. It is going to be a Weissach 1-2 here at Suzuka. He will take second position, but now it's the run through the chicane for the final time. Can Lemke hold on? What has Chase, Mia and Bykov got to do to try and get through on the 41 from Sky Lounge Motorsport? It will be Lemke, it will be Chase, it will be Mia that will round out your top 5. Bykov finishes in 6th position. Russell Abraham and John Aguilera ran out 24th and 25th. Kyle Mavis, Joseph Mayer, Thomas Lathrop, Michael Brock, John Cooper, and, well, there's been a big development because what has happened to Zach Peterson? Oh dear, he was leading the race, and it's Justin Aitchison that wins in the mid-pack Larrys here at round number 1. Zach Peterson, I think, was in pit lane. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. That is a big, big development. I thought that season 27 was going to be like a rocket ship and go out like a bang, but I didn't expect that Zach Peterson, who was leading so comfortably, there you go. It just showcases how tough this circuit really is as Aaron Sunday crosses the line, rounds out your top 20. 21st for Kent Kruger. Justin Back is making his way down the back stretch for the final time. And this is the last driver we will have crossing the stripe here at Suzuka. But when you think about it all, the dust having settled here at Suzuka, it is DJ Alessandrini that basically puts the smackdown on everybody here at Suzuka. And Justin Back will make his way through the
Hitachi Estema chicane and come out of the final corner, and the number 67 will cross the line to finish in 22nd overall. Whew.
Wow.
What a race to start season 27 Apex this GT4 Tuesdays, Mac. My goodness.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see. And Zach Peterson, man, I was ready to give him the MVP. I was ready to give him the crown for the mid-pack Larrys this race. And on that final lap, the unfortunate just demise to his car. And man, just like Kevin Zhu, he goes the entire race being pretty much perfect, and he just cannot get it done.
I know. Well, DJ Alessandrini took every single lap of this race. He led all the way through the race itself. Finished 22.8 seconds ahead of Brian Zinn and Brian Lemke, who round out your overall top 3. Michael Chase, Jesse Meir, Roman Bykov, Kyle Mavis, Joseph Mayer, Thomas Lathrop and Michael Brock round out your top 10 in the overall standings. John Cooper 11th ahead of mid-pack Larry's race winner here today, which is going to be Justin Aitchison, Spencer Baudouin, Kelly Greenhoe and Oz Esclue round out the top 15. Sean Teeter and Vincent Wood round out your top 3 in the mid-pack Larry's, rounding out to the top 17. Keegan Gehrig up 1 spot, finishing ahead of Felipe Cox and Aaron Sunday, who round out your top 20. Hardest charger of the day. Spencer Baudouin, the man from Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, moves up from 29th at the start to finish 13th on the road. Well, it's now time to go to the next part of our show, which is the Apex Sim Racing post-race show, and we've got 2 drivers standing by to have a chat. And I think really the first person we need to bring in, a good friend of ours here at Race and Nexus, but I don't think he'd be very, very surprised about the fact he finished P2, having started on the outside of row 4. Let's welcome in Brian Zinn. Brian, good evening, buddy. I can't believe it. You finished P2 after starting 8th on that one. What a way to start season 27 here for Apex this.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I surprised myself with how good that pit stop was. I looked back and I was almost 3 seconds up on Lemke and Meager, and I'm like, did I take enough fuel? But I will, keeping that podium streak alive from the end of last season. Loving this momentum.
Well, I mean, also one of the big things, there was a lot of discussion towards the end of season 26, and, we've gone fixed car, open setup. What's been the biggest change with regards to that from your perspective?
Definitely the setup. The fixed setups seem to work better on some of the GT4s than others. Certainly for me anyway, the Mercedes and the BMW felt best on fixed setup, but with open setup, it allows for a lot better comfortability to be developed in the car, especially having the TC be adjustable and so forth. So I've always been in the group that I'm fine with fixed setup as long as we have all the cockpit adjustable controls, other than brake bias, but iRacing doesn't give us that freedom for reasons I don't understand. So, but the open setup made a world of difference. The Cayman on the fixed setup just has no feeling to it whatsoever, but being able to tweak some things made it feel really good. Yeah,
definitely. And like you say, it keeps the podium streak alive, continuing on from your efforts in the latter part of season 26. I mean, we go to Spa next week. How are you feeling about that one for week 2?
I am very upset now that I'm going to be missing Spa because I have to go to Chicago for a work conference. But I do have a friend up there and teammate, Derek Tyndall, who has made appearances for Apex GT4 before.
Yes.
So I might be on his doorstep saying, "Can I borrow your rig, sir, please?" and try and make the race. So we'll see if that happens. If I'm on the grid, you know where I am.
Well, exactly, and I'll wait for a DM on Discord from you directly on that case, Brian. But, buddy, congratulations. Great result here at Suzuka for week 1 of the series. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout-out to in particular?
Oh, absolutely. As always, the admins at Apex this, I've lost count how many seasons this is now that I've raced with them, and it's always been good racing, by far. Some of the best league racing I've experienced. So if you're on the fence about joining a league, definitely hop in and join Apex this. Shameless plug for those guys. Definitely to you guys with the Racer Nexus crew. I love watching the broadcast back either later tonight or tomorrow when I'm at work. Got to shout out got my Maximum Effort Motorsports teammates, and of course my family. You know, got my love of racing from them, and wouldn't be here without them, obviously. So can't thank them enough.
Well, Brian, congratulations on the P2 in the Pro Division and also overall tonight. And hopefully, just keep me posted if you're going to be with us for round 2 at Spa next week. Well done tonight.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So a big thank you there to Brian Zim. And standing by with Mac Nelson is Mr. Consistency and our current defending Going Pros champion. He's got alongside him Brian Lemke. Over to you, Mac.
Yeah, Brian, Mac, and Alex up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do. How's it going, guys?
It's going very well. Now, I said it towards the top of the broadcast. You were a BMW sandwich. I mean, you had Porsches all around you. At one point, I think all 5 nearest cars to you were Porsches. BMW is a car that isn't exactly respected on the same playing field as the Porsche. So what's it feel like being in that car? Some might call it inferior. I think it's, you know, pretty good. But what would you say to those people that, you know, think that maybe the BMW might be inferior?
You know, I felt really good in practice. I was putting some laps down, and as that temperature climbed, it seemed like every degree the track got hotter, the Porsche was getting better and better and better, and I was just kind of slipping. I mean, that was a gift that I even finished in 3rd. I don't know how Zin. I mean, Zin had an amazing pit stop, got around everybody, and I just hung on. I hung on to the end. But I think we're going to need to make some tweaks to the Beamer in the next few weeks and see if we can keep the tires on it a little bit longer as these temps climb and see what we can do. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick it out with the Beamer and hope I got something for these Porsches in the coming weeks, I guess.
Well, I hope you do, Mr. Consistency, because you've got a title to defend.
I know. It's not going to be easy. If DJ shows up every week, it ain't going to happen.
I know. Well, you know what he did? He came in for week 1 and week 3 last season. Then all of a sudden we didn't see hide nor hair of him, so he might do the same disappearing act. But Brian, buddy, great to see you back in the all stealth black BMW number 41, buddy. But as always, it's a pleasure to have you with us in the post-race interview show. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, all the usuals. Shout out to all the new guys this season stepping in, and I'm really looking forward to running another season of these things. They've been a lot of fun. The racing's been really good, and we'll see what we can do the rest of the season. Hopefully, I talk to you guys 11 more times this season. That'd be fantastic.
All right, Brian. Thanks a lot for your time, buddy. We'll see you next week for round 2 at Spa.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Okay, last but by certainly no means least, we have got one of our mid-pack Larrys on the podium joining us in the booth. Let's bring him in. Sean Teeter joins us. Sean, are you reading us?
I am. How are you?
Not too bad. Well, just to think, it all was going well for a certain competitor in the same division, Zach Peterson, but you end up finishing P2 in the Beast. Was that a bit of a surprise? Because you were running top 3 all the way through the race, and then all of a sudden, we're not too sure whether Zach had an issue of some description, whether it was a disconnect towards the end of the race.
It was a complete surprise. I didn't even think I was in the running just because I had a terrible qualifying, and I started in the back, and I was struggling with the car all night. And then I finished the race, looked at the results, and I'm like, there's nobody in front of me. This is crazy. So, yeah, I don't know what happened to Zach.
But still, a good way to start mid-pack Larry's off season 27, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not going to complain at all.
Well, listen, next week we go to Spa. How do you think the BMW is going to handle round there?
This is my first time with the BMW this season. I just followed what the fast guys were doing last season, and it seemed to be the BMW. So I don't know what to expect, but Spa is one of my favorite tracks, so I expect it'll do pretty well.
Brilliant. Well, before we let you go, Sean, congratulations, first of all, on getting a P2 in the BMW in the first week of the series. Anyone else you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I'll follow the lead of the guys behind me, and just thanks to all the admins that make this happen and all the fellow racers that came tonight. It was awesome.
Brilliant. Sean, congratulations on your P2 finish in the mid-pack Larrys. We'll see you next week for round 2 at Spa-Francorchamps. Well done tonight.
Thanks.
Well, Mac, what can we say about this opening round of the series here at season 27 of Apex this GT4 Tuesdays? I mean, SUZUKA, it brought everything, didn't it?
Yeah, it brought absolutely everything from, a sure podium in Kevin Zhu. He unfortunately had a little bit of an issue. He fell down. We had a sure winner in Zach Peterson until he had a last lap collapse. I mean, there was nothing we could have planned for, nothing we could have predicted kind of happened. I mean, DJ Alessandrini, I mean, we know he's good, but outside of that, I mean, it just seemed like it was a ticking time bomb for every single position on the grid.
Yeah, and that really brings to an end our coverage here for the opening round of Season 27 of Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. A big thank you to Apex Sim Racing Shop for their continued support, and also for trackcams22.com, track cams for gourmets. So don't forget, do all those good things. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also the notification bell coming up over the course of the next few days. Tobacco Road Sim Racing Next Gen Series Season 2, Week 9 heads to Homestead. We then got the American Sim Racing League Sports Car Championship. They'll be heading into Week 8, Legacy Silverstone. And then Freedom Motorsport Alliance Endurance, that's going to be LMP2 and GTP Multiclass, starts this coming Thursday night. And we're going to be going to the World Centre of Racing, to Daytona, RCR Rookie Class Racing ARCA Series 3, Season 3, Week 2 at Gateway. Special Stage League, Breaking Bad Pushing Limits, Apex This, Mazda Cup, and so much more. You've been in the company of Alex Goldschmidt, alongside Mac Nelson here in the broadcast booth, with our producer behind the scenes, Rob Campbell, providing all the great camera angles here tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you 1 week's time at the famed Ardennes Forest at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Until then, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, you better go flat out. We'll see you next time. Good night.